The suitcase was heavier than it should have been. When she grabbed the handle, her knuckles went white, and she nearly stumbled backward. That moment, that split second of shock that broke through her carefully crafted veneer, was worth every hour I had spent preparing for this weekend. "Oh, wow. Did you pack rocks in here?" she said, forcing a laugh, her eyes darting to me for a reaction. I shrugged, my face impassive. "You've got everything you need in there," I replied, my tone deliberately flat. "It's a special trip after all." She hesitated, then smiled, that fake rehearse it until if it's smile she'd been using on me for months. "You're so thoughtful," she said, leaning in to kiss me on the cheek. Her lips felt cold, disconnected. I watched her wheel the suitcase out the door, the small wheels squeaking under the weight. I waited until the car pulled out of the driveway and disappeared down the street before I allowed myself to exhale. It was showtime. Her name was Amanda. We'd been married for 8 years, together for 10. For most of that time, I would have described us as happy, comfortable. We had our routines, our inside jokes, our shared dreams, or at least I thought we did. That illusion shattered 3 months ago when I found the first text message. She had left her phone on the kitchen counter while she went upstairs to shower. I wasn't snooping, at least not intentionally, but the screen lit up with message preview and my eyes betrayed me. "Can't wait to see you this weekend. Miss you like crazy." It was signed Brent. Brent? I didn't know a Brent. We didn't have any friends named Brent. There wasn't a Brent at her office. So I thought. My heart dropped into my stomach. But I didn't pick up the phone. Not then, not yet. I'd learned enough in life to know that rushing in blind would get me nowhere. I needed proof. Hard proof. And proof I found. The weeks that followed were a masterclass in deception. Mine, not hers. While she thought I was oblivious, I was slowly unraveling the web she and Brent had spun. I'd installed a keylogger on her laptop when she left it unattended, capturing their emails and chats. I followed her once, keeping a safe distance as she worked late at an upscale hotel downtown. And the topper? I placed a GPS tracker in her car. What I discovered was sickening. Every lie she told, every excuse, every "I love you" she whispered to me before heading out to meet him drove a knife deeper into my chest. But I didn't confront her. Not yet. She'd woven a narrative of control. But she didn't realize she was a puppet, not the puppeteer. I'd let her think she was getting away with it. And then I'd let her fall. When she announced her weekend getaway with the girls, I almost laughed. She was so transparent now that I knew what to look for. Her fabricated stories didn't align. Too many friends conveniently unavailable to confirm plans, too many last-minute changes, and a lingering scent of cologne on her blouse the last time she came home late. That wasn't mine. "You deserve some time to unwind," I told her when she brought up the subject. "I've got some project around the house to keep me busy." She beamed. "You're the best." The audacity. I played the part of the oblivious husband, even helping her pack. But while she selected her favorite outfits, ones I knew she'd wear to impress him, I was working on my own suitcase, not with clothes. Mine was filled with the kind of evidence that would shatter her world. Brent lived in a fancy condo on the other side of the city. I'd scouted the place more times than I could count, learning his habits, his schedule. A high-level executive, of course. Polished, charming. A man who probably never thought twice about the husband of the woman he was sleeping with. When I arrived, I parked down the street and watched in the shadows. Amanda's car was already there, parked crookedly in her rush to get inside. I waited another hour, giving them time to settle in, before walking up to the building. I'd rehearsed this moment in my head countless times, but nothing prepared me for the real thing. My heart was pounding, adrenaline coursing through me like fire. I knocked, firm, authoritative. The door opened, and there he was, Brent. Late 30s, dark hair, expensive watch glinting in the hallway light. His smile faltered the moment he saw me. "Can I help you?" he asked, his tone cautious. "Oh, I think you can," I replied, stepping forward. I saw his hand twitch, as if debating whether to close the door. I didn't give him the chance. My shoulder hit the door, and I was inside. "Hey, you can't." "Shut up, Brent." I snapped, my voice sharp enough to cut glass. You and I need to have a little chat. Amanda appeared then, stepping into the hallway, her face drained of color. When she saw me, she clutched the robe around her like it was a shield. Mark, what are you doing here? I ignored her, focusing on Brent. You know who I am, don't you? He swallowed hard. I think you should leave. I laughed, a cold, bitter sound. Oh, I'll leave, but not before we've had our conversation. I reached into my bag and pulled out the first stack of photos, printed screenshots of their texts, emails, hotel receipts. I threw them onto the coffee table, scattering them like confetti. His eyes widened, darting from the photos to Amanda and back to me. You thought you were clever, didn't you? I continued, my voice rising. Sneaking around, thinking you wouldn't get caught. Did you think I was stupid? That I wouldn't notice? Mark, please. Amanda's voice was trembling now. Can we talk about this privately? Privately? I turned to her, my anger boiling over. You want privacy now? You didn't seem too concerned about that when you were screwing him behind my back. She flinched, tears pooling in her eyes, but I didn't care. Not anymore. You don't get to cry, Amanda, I said, my voice cold. You made your choices. Now you'll face the consequences. I turned back to Brent, who looked like he wanted to sink into the floor. How does it feel, Brent, knowing you've been caught? That your little game is over? Look, man, he stammered. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. Save it. I snapped. I'm not interested in your excuses, but your wife might be. His face went white. What? Oh, yeah. I found her contact info. Lovely woman. I'm sure she'll appreciate knowing what her husband's been up to. Mark, please. Amanda's voice broke, desperate. Don't do this. I turned to her, my gaze piercing. You should have thought about that before. I grabbed my bag and walked to the door. Before I left, I turned back to Brent one more time. One more thing. If you ever come near my wife again, I'll make sure everyone in your professional circle knows exactly what kind of man you are. I left them standing there, the silence behind me deafening. The fallout was swift and brutal. I mailed the evidence to Brent's wife the next day, along with a note apologizing for the pain it would cause her. She filed for divorce within a week. Word spread quickly through Brent's company, and he was quietly asked to resign. As for Amanda, she tried to beg for forgiveness, to explain away her actions, but I wasn't interested. The divorce papers were already in motion. I made sure she left with nothing but the clothes on her back. It wasn't easy, none of it was, but as I stood in my now empty house, the weight of betrayal finally lifting, I realized something. I'd lost a wife, yes, but I'd gained something far more valuable. Freedom, and the satisfaction of knowing that justice had been served.